it's your girl K Renee, and I'm back again, once again, with another video. So, as y'all can see by the title and that thumbnail, we finna be talking about some really, serious stuff. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm here to even, be a little open with y'all about, my situations and stuff and my past friendships and stuff too, or like family and stuff like that. And what we gonna talk about is pretty much like learning how to forgive people, and also communicating things that is important to talk about, because sometimes us as people, we don't always communicate. We don't always talk to the person we need to be talking to about the situation. Sometimes we have found ourselves doing some backdoor stuff, talking about it, venting to other people. And I'm not just saying you can't vent, but I do believe that it's better to tell people how you feel. Heavy on, especially if you really care about that person, you love that person, and it could be literally like a friend, family member, relationship, whatever. And that's where a lot of relationships, regardless of what type of relationship it is, go wrong. Don't get me wrong. It's easy to say you didn't do nothing wrong. It's easy to try to play victim. But how easy it is for you to really admit when you're wrong. And then, a lot of people don't like to be the problem. They be the ones feeling like they're always the victim. And that can be also an issue as well. Because we all, as people, we all are dealing with our own issues, right? Nobody's perfect. Regardless of what we got going on, it's still things within us that we have to work on. And only you can truly say what needs to be worked on. You and God. You know what I'm saying? Now, it could be situations where you got a really bad habit you don't realize you have. But if somebody cares about you and love you, they'll bring it to your attention. And that's another thing too. When somebody brings it to your attention, or if somebody's coming to talk to you about something concerning them, it's okay to listen and not get offended. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times that communication be really the reason why friendships don't last. You get into it with your family, relationships go bad, and intimate relationships or partnerships or whatever, because the communication isn't there. And if you're not careful, depending on how you respond, can make situations either better or worse. So that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about that, and talking about learning how to forgive and moving on. Not saying you have to forgive and and just act like you forgot. No, but forgive and moving on with your life, moving forward. So I can honestly say I feel like in the past, I had friendships that I really wanted to last, that I really cared about. And I felt like I wasn't always getting reciprocated the same energy that I was giving out. And my biggest problem was, I was vocal, but I wasn't always vocal about certain situations. I used to be the type to sweep a lot of stuff under the rug, especially when I felt like it was stuff I definitely should have talked to them about. And sometimes I felt like in the situations it was an ongoing thing, and they kept doing it. And that's kind of one of the reasons why I kind of stepped back and stopped being friends with the people I was friends with. To be honest with you, I really don't have any friends. And it's mainly because at some point I felt like I was traumatized from being hurt all the time. And sometimes I felt like I cared a little bit too much. You know what I'm saying? And when you got a good heart, you be the one to get hurt the most. You know what I'm saying? And not just saying no, everybody don't have a good heart, but you got some people who really do love hard. You know what I'm saying? And I can feel like to a heavy degree, I'm one of them. Like, I can honestly say, like, there's a lot of stuff I feel like I should have been more open about, you know. But at the end of the day, you know, I learned from it. And I had to think about what roles we both played. And that's how I think about with all situations. Whether it's family, intimate relationship, friendship, whatever. I always think about things on both ends. Now, sometimes I'm not going to lie. Depending on the circumstances, I could be all the way confused and don't know what's going on because I will be thinking one way, or I think that we here and like it don't be like that for that person. And to be honest with you, I'm not the type to lie and say, well, I'm easy to talk to. You can come talk to me. Honestly, I am though. Like if you come to me and you really am trying to talk to me and not trying to talk at me and like coming at me sideways, then I feel like it's easy for you to talk to me because I do care. And especially on if I care about you, I love you. Well, you supposed to love everybody, but heavy on how the role you play in my life, I definitely want to hear what you have to say because at the end of the day, your feelings matter too. But in some cases, and I'm pretty sure y'all can relate with that, it don't always be like that. And you could be hurt from one situation. That person could be hurt from one situation. But instead of talking about it, sometimes that hurt can turn into anger. And then anger can turn you into, now y'all kind of like enemies. Y'all not seeing eye to eye no more. Every little thing that they do kind of like irritate you, mainly because you just more so irritated with the situation within itself. But if you situated it, like if you fixed it to begin with, sometimes that's not always easy, but if at least if you tried, that's what matters. Now, heavy on if a person kind of like got their mind made up and they don't want to like, they really don't care. Like they heard you, you heard them, y'all kumbaya, but that person still gonna feel how they feel about you at the end of the day. Hey, at least you can say you did your part. You know what I'm saying? But, and that's what I'm saying, like, communication does go a long way. And growth is when you realize that, hey, I know I played a part in this. And I care about what I done to you. And knowing that I could have done things a little differently. You know what I'm saying? Not saying you have to beat yourself up because at the end of the day, if it's past, it's past. You have to move forward. And even if they did something to you and for certain you did nothing to them, still move on with your life because at the end of the day, sometimes God could be blocking you. I mean, God could be literally removing that person out your life anyway. God could have heard conversations that you didn't hear. God could see stuff that you didn't see. God can hear thoughts and see things that, and if anything, he's protecting you. You know what I'm saying? So even when things don't always work out, don't always look at it as, it was your fault or anything like that either. Like, look at it like God was trying to protect you anyway from this person. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we be blinded by the things that we need to be looking at because we care about these people. And we look at the time and we look at like our memories and our history and we forget about what's important, which is like how you treat me. You know what I'm saying? Where your loyalty lies, or just how we go about things altogether. And I do believe in my heart, like, communication is definitely plays a big role, because, like, if you think about it, let's say you had a situation with somebody and then it went left, right? And you felt the way and they felt the way and y'all went y'all separate ways. But at the end of the day, it affected y'all on both ends. Like, you want to talk to this person, you met at this person, you want to talk to this person, but you don't know how to go about it, because this person could be thinking that, okay, I could go talk to them, but they might not be wanting to hear what I got to say, and vice versa. And that's a problem. Like, you have to be willing to listen to what the other person has to say. You do have to be willing to understand that it's not always about you. And sometimes when you don't want to accept certain stuff, that can cause, like, people to shut down and now they don't want to talk to you. You know what I'm saying? Or, like, situations where you're not easy to talk to because you're easily offended, and you not even that type of person that likes to hear the truth. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to be open to deal with that. And that's part of growth, because at the end of the day, you cannot just fix yourself to feel like you just don't do nothing wrong. Everybody here on this earth do something wrong. Even if you said something to somebody and you offended them, regardless if your intentions wasn't to, but you still did it based off how you delivered it. You have to be willing to admit and think about it and see it from from someone's perspective, even if it's not you. Like, what? I ain't do this, da. No. Somebody comes to you and say, hey, I was just wanting to talk to you about a situation. This and the third had happened, and I was wondering, why was you like yada da. Even if you feel like that wasn't the case, it's how you respond. Because if you care, you're going to respond differently. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, you're not going to be so quick to be like, what? I ain't did this and nah. You tweaking. That's why you really got to think before you speak. Like, for real. You can't just be walking around here treating people any kind of way. And then when it's done to you, now you want to cry and play victim. Like, nah, you have to be willing to give and take, you know? And that's why I feel like communication is definitely key. Forgiving and forgetting. Because, and that's another thing, if you forgive somebody and you truly in your heart forgave somebody about a situation, you're supposed to move forward. Okay, my bad, y'all. My phone started tweaking. But I'm just pretty much saying, like, you know, forgiveness is a really big thing. That's a step growing closer and becoming a better person. You ain't carrying that bitterness in your heart, which causing you to treat the next person bad, you know, and it's just a healing thing for yourself. And then, like, communicating and learning how to communicate with somebody, talking to them, not only with respect, but with a perspective and with intent. Your intent is to try to get an understanding and make stuff right. And the same, receiving information and learning how to take it in without getting offended over every little thing, because you're never going to grow like that. And you're never going to have genuine people in your life. And then as people, for me, you can't be scared to branch off and actually want to meet new people. You know, although I've been through so much, I could tell when somebody's not genuine. I could tell when somebody's being shady and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, that doesn't mean everyone's like that. And that's a thing that I'm working on for myself. But hopefully, eventually, I find my group of people, you know, genuine people who is willing to give me the same energy that I'm giving them, you know, or even if, you know, and we just growing as a whole. And again, just to say this, and whoever's watching this video, if you were somebody I was cool with at one point, not saying that you, because I might have not been giving it to you. I'm just going off what I felt like I wasn't doing. I mean, I wasn't getting. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I would never fix my mouth to say I hate somebody or anything like that. I still genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, wish nothing but the best for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Because when it's all said and done, just because things went left does not mean that I still want the worst for you. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully, anybody that's growing as a whole, that you find that thing, you know what I'm saying? Like that piece, that part of you that makes you want to be a better person. You know what I'm saying? Finding God and allowing Him to be the center of your life. And you're not moving off of emotion no more. You're not moving off impulse. You moving off of intent and good intent. You thinking before you just reacting, because that can really hinder a lot of situations, a lot of people, like friendships and relationships and family, you know. But I'm not gonna talk too much. Just letting y'all know it's okay. You know, everybody's been there, and if you're going through that right now, things will turn around for you. It will be okay. And if you're in a situation where you can make stuff right with somebody that you really love and care about, I highly suggest you do that. Like, work things out with them. Life is too short, and tomorrow's not promised. And especially if you know that you want this person in your life, and it's all because of y'all, make it right. Or if you're going through a situation where you've been hurt and you've been betrayed, and you finding yourself becoming cold-hearted, you don't want to give another person a chance, go through that process of healing, reflect, think about the roles you play, because it takes two to tango. And, you know, just think about how you learn from it. Don't always look at it like it's a bad thing. Take what you learn from it. Get yourself together mentally, emotional. If you got to sit in a quiet room by yourself and talk to God, get a Bible, read it, do some praying. Do those things and put some energy into yourself. Work on you. And then when the time is right, God will put the right people back in your life, or put the right people in your life altogether. You know, it won't be hard. It won't feel forced. It won't feel like it's an emotional roller coaster. Everything will be genuine, you know. But that is all, y'all. I appreciate everybody. If you watched it from the beginning to the end, thank you so much. Shout out to all the new supporters, y'all. When I tell y'all, I've gained, I don't know, y'all. Like, it ain't even been that long. I can honestly say I gained a good, like, 100 and something. Like, I was at 5 something, y'all, at one point. Now I'm at 700 and some subscribers. I'm literally on the road to 1K. And I appreciate y'all so much for all the love, all the support. Just being supportive means a lot. But until next time, you guys, I love y'all. God loves y'all. Until next time. Bye.